You know that neighbor down the street? The one who spent probably $15,000 on their front yard 2 summers ago. New plants, fresh hardscape, the whole thing. Looked incredible on the day it was finished. And right now, in 2026, it looks painfully dated. Not because it was done badly, because they followed trends that were already dying when they installed them. And nobody told them. It's a tough lesson to learn. That's what this video is about. Because here's the thing most homeowners don't realize. Front yard trends don't fade slowly, they fall off a cliff. One year it's everywhere. Every design magazine, every Pinterest board, every neighbor copying the neighbor. And then suddenly it's the thing that makes a house look like it's stuck in a specific moment in time. Like those avocado green kitchens from the 70s. Fine then, embarrassing now. I've been doing this long enough to see the cycle repeat. And right now, in 2026, there are 10 front yard trends that have fully crossed the line. Some of them you probably have. Some of them you were probably thinking about installing. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to avoid, what to replace it with, and why catching this now saves you real money and real embarrassment later. We're starting at number 10 and working down. And I'll tell you right now, number 1 is something people are still actively installing today thinking it's a premium upgrade. It is not. Stay with me until we get there. Number 10, the matching ceramic pot collection at the front door. Walk up to almost any suburban home in the last 5 years and you'd see them. 2, 3, sometimes 4 oversized ceramic pots. Flanking the entrance, all the same color, usually gray or terracotta, or that specific shade of matte black that was everywhere. Planted with the same ornamental grass or the same trailing ivy. The same arrangement repeated on both sides, like bookends at a library. It looked intentional. It looked designed. For about 2 years, it genuinely did look good. Here's why it's dead. Because everyone did it. Exactly, the same way. When a trend reaches the point where the same ceramic pots are showing up in front of starter homes and $5 million properties alike, it has lost every single thing that made it feel considered. It doesn't say this homeowner has taste. It says this homeowner went to the same home improvement store as everyone else. What designers are doing now instead is completely different. Asymmetry. One strong architectural planting element on one side of the entrance, nothing mirroring it on the other. Or mixed materials, a stone trough next to a weathered timber planter, different heights, different textures, no attempt to match. The goal is curated, not coordinated. Visitors should feel like the entrance was chosen for this specific house, not copied from a showroom display. If you've got matching pots out front, you don't need to throw them away. Break the symmetry. Separate them. Repot one with something taller. Move the other to the side of the path. Immediately more interesting. Number 9, horizontal timber slat feature walls. They hit absolute saturation point in 2024. Replacing them, natural variation like reclaimed brick and raw stone, materials that actually belong to the house. If you have one, grow a climber through it. It moves the wall from trend to backdrop for almost no money. Number 8, the all-gray palette. It felt modern, then it got emotionally cold and sterile. The shift now is toward warmth, natural stone and sandy granite, and terracotta planting. These materials age beautifully. Timber left in its natural color ages beautifully and belongs to the landscape. This isn't about bold color, it's about warmth. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Number 7, the lavender river lining every path and driveway. Lavender is beautiful, but the purple ribbon lining every hardscape element has peaked and passed. Part of the problem is that lavender is unforgiving if it's not in the absolute right conditions. It goes woody in the middle and dies in patches. What's working now is mixed planting edges, variety with coherence. That's the shift. Number 6, ornamental grass used as a filler for everything. Ornamental grass had its moment, but it became the answer to every problem. When a plant becomes a filler rather than a feature, it loses its power. It becomes visual noise. Ornamental grass is at its best when it's the punctuation of a planting scheme, not the whole sentence. What designers are pulling back to now is using grass intentionally and sparingly. Less of it, used with more thought, produces a far stronger result. Number 5, the perfectly symmetrical foundation planting. 2 shrubs either side of the front door. Same species, same size. Same round shape, kept perfectly clipped. 2 more at the corners of the house, same thing. Repeated all the way along the foundation. Neat, uniform, perfectly matched. This was the front yard standard for about 20 years, and it wasn't wrong. This was the front yard standard for about 20 years. In a traditional architectural context with a formal house design, there are still places where symmetrical planting is the right call. But the blanket application of it, the cookie-cutter symmetrical foundation planting as the default answer for every house style, that's what's gone. It looks institutional now. It reads as a decision that wasn't really made, a default that no one questioned. And buyers looking at houses in 2026 are actively responding to the absence of personality in these yards. They don't always know why a front yard doesn't feel right. But this is usually part of the reason. The replacement isn't chaos, it's considered asymmetry. Anchor plants used with intention at specific points, not mirrored robotically. Planting that responds to the architecture rather than ignoring it. The difference between a front yard that looks designed and one that looks like a formula is almost entirely in this. Number 4. Brightly colored mulch. Red mulch. Dyed red, volcanic looking. Red mulch. Dyed red, volcanic looking. Shocking against green grass. I know, you know, we all know, and yet it persists. It persists in neighborhoods across the country because it's cheap. And it's at every hardware store, and the bag says, color stays vibrant for 12 months, and people believe it. Here is what that mulch communicates to every person who walks past. Nothing about plants, nothing about design. It says someone needed to cover bare soil and grabbed what was on sale. The color doesn't complement anything in a natural landscape, because it doesn't exist anywhere in a natural landscape. It fights with every leaf, every flower, every paving material around it. The same applies to bright gold mulch and very dark black mulch used in excessive quantities. All of them scream, I was trying to solve a problem quickly. None of them say this was designed. Natural brown organic mulch applied at proper depth, 3 to 4 inches, does everything the dyed product claims to do, plus the things it doesn't mention. It improves the soil as it breaks down. It regulates soil temperature. It suppresses weeds better at the right depth. It looks like it belongs in a garden. That's the whole job. Number 3, the cacti and succulent front yard outside of dry climates. For homeowners in Arizona, California, New Mexico, parts of Texas, this is not aimed at you. In arid and semi-arid climates, succulent and drought-tolerant landscaping is not just trending, it's genuinely the intelligent long-term choice. It belongs there. It works there. This is aimed at everyone who saw a drought-tolerant succulent garden on Instagram in 2022 and transplanted the entire aesthetic directly into a climate where it makes no practical sense. The Portland rain garden planted with agave, the Michigan front yard attempting a desert landscape in a place that gets 40 inches of rain and hard freezes every winter. What happens is entirely predictable. Half the plants die the first hard winter. The ones that survive look stressed and wrong in the gray, rainy months. Number 2, artificial turf in the front yard as a design statement. This one is going to land hard because the artificial turf industry has had an extraordinary marketing run. And the practical case for it sounds compelling. No mowing, no watering, always green, clean edges all year round. Always green, clean edges all year round. When you're standing in a showroom squeezing the sample between your fingers, it genuinely feels like a reasonable decision. Here is what the showroom doesn't tell you. The product that looks realistic on the day it's installed looks demonstrably artificial within 18 months in most climates. It fades, it flattens in high traffic areas, the edges become visible, and the color shifts to something that no longer resembles any grass that exists in nature. And then there's the heat issue. Artificial turf in direct summer sun reaches temperatures that are genuinely dangerous. For children and pets, this is documented, measurable, and not a fringe concern. On a warm afternoon, number 1, the Ring doorbell as the only lighting design at the front door. Right, I know, you were expecting something else. A plant trend, a hardscape choice, something aesthetic. And here it is. The single biggest front yard mistake that homeowners are making right now, treating security lighting as entrance design. Here's what I mean. The Ring doorbell gets installed. A motion sensor floodlight goes up over the garage. Maybe a basic utility light over the front door from the 1990s. That nobody has ever changed because it still works. That's the entire exterior lighting plan for what is supposed to be the most important visual statement your home makes. And every night, what does that house say? It says nobody lives here, except someone who is worried about their packages. Exterior lighting is not a security feature that happens to be visible. It is a design feature that happens to serve a security function on the side. That distinction changes everything about how you approach it. The warm-up lighting at the base of your best front yard tree. The low path lights that define the approach from the street to your front door. The warm fixture above the entrance itself that flatters the door, illuminates the threshold, and tells every person arriving that they are expected and welcome. These are not expensive. A low-voltage landscape lighting system with a timer costs less than one ceramic pot from a boutique garden center. And it transforms how your house reads from the street every single evening for the next 15 years. Designers are now talking about the night view first. Before they discuss a single plant, a single paving material, a single feature element, they are asking, what does this house look like at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday evening in November? Because for most of the year, in most climates, that is when the people who live there arrive home. That is the daily first impression, and almost nobody designs for it.